Yeah, Mitch, thanks for joining us, mate. Now that you're into the rhythm of the IPL this time around, as you mentioned a couple of days ago, you enjoying it over there and having a bit of fun?
Yeah, it's been busy. It's been a whirlwind start, I guess, to the tournament. I think everything happens very quickly. There's there's been a bit of travel. There's a lot of games, a lot of action, a lot of runs, a lot of new faces, and the rest of it. So it's been a busy start to the tournament, but we're well underway now, and yeah, it's been good fun getting to meet new guys, play with guys I've only played against. So yeah, it's been a great experience so far. It's been fun to get involved in the Calcutta setup. We've been we've had a fairly successful start to the tournament, which always helps. And yeah, we sort of the ball keeps rolling, I guess.
Yeah, you mentioned the other night that it's taking you a bit longer to find your rhythm back in the midst of T20 cricket. Is that because as you're running in at the moment over there and some of the scores that we're reading, that basically you're just wondering if any ball's going to end up in a different suburb? I mean, there's some ridiculous things going on with the bat over there.
Yeah, even again last night. I know Trav was the main destroyer there, but was nearly 550 runs in 40 overs of cricket. So who'd want to be a bowler, eh? But the small grounds, the big bats, the flat wickets, it can be hard work sometimes. But that's part and parcel of T20 cricket. That's what people want to see is the runs and the boundaries there. They don't sort of look after the little bowler, do they? But no, it is. I mean, that's T20 cricket, and I said the other night, the games come thick and fast. So whether they're good days or bad days, you got to quickly move on to the next game. And we played on Sunday, and we play again today. So that's one instance of the fact that we won the other night, and yesterday it was meetings about the game today. So it happens very quickly, and it certainly does happen quickly out in the field. But it's exciting as T20 cricket, and you just got to ride the waves of the good and bad days.
Yeah, and obviously the crowds get into it over there. They provide such a great atmosphere. So tactically, how do you plan for it when you're charging in, trying to stop a batter who's seeing it well, eyes like dinner plates for your next ball? Do you rely on your stock standard Yorker, or I mean, is it just how do you go about processing everything and trying to stop the flow?
Yeah, it's a bit of all of that. I think part of it is for meetings yesterday, for instance, for the game against Rajasthan, that there'd be for us international guys, even it's talking to some of the local guys or the senior guys about what some of the local Indian guys do, because we wouldn't have seen or played against them before. So it's taking a little bit of that. It's taking some of, I guess, your experiences and knowledge of the games that we've played, and then we're obviously playing at home, so taking a little bit of information from the games we played there. And it can be a brutal game, and you can still bowl exactly where you want to bowl and execute perfectly, and the ball can still fly over the fence for six. So yeah, you again, you got to take the good with the bad, and try and stay a step ahead. But sometimes the batters can play some good shots, and sometimes they play a few in a row.
A couple of games ago, you got rid of two of your Aussie teammates. So Mitch Marsh absolutely crushed one to point, but a fielder was in the way, happily for you. But the one with Davey, so you've got through him, you've disrupted the castle, and you've gone the big hand in the air celebration. No send-off or anything like that, but deep down, bubbling away with his... Was there a fairly high level of satisfaction with that one?
I think it's always a little bit of satisfaction when you get your Aussie teammates out, or likewise, I'm sure if they hit, well, Davey hit me for six, I think the ball four, so I'm sure he would have taken that one as well. So yeah, it was a little moral victory there, I think. But yeah, I mean, in a few weeks' time, we're sitting back in Australian colours in a T20 camp, so there might be some swapping some stories, or the way Paddy and Trav are going at the minute, they'll be talking about how they're trying to score 300 runs in a T20 game.
Yeah, it's extraordinary what Travis was involved with the bat, and Pat saying after it, a bit on the point we were mentioning before about running in and not knowing what's going to happen. Like, he feels like he's achieved something great if you only go for 8 and over at the moment on some of these grounds, and they play on a really small one, or they played on a really small one, didn't they? So the conditions aren't all the same, but if you get a good batter on a good day in their conditions, anything can happen, I guess.
Yeah, spot on. It's there's not very many big grounds over here in India, and I mean the ground in Hyderabad's not the smallest ground in the country, and they still scored 270 there. So they're certainly pushing the limits, I think, and that's what happens in T20 cricket. People adapt, and certainly the batters are adapting to going extremely hard from the first ball and trying to score 300 runs in a 20 over innings. Well, I think Hyderabad have done it twice this season already, 270 and now 280. So we've been up there. Our boys have cracked the 270 mark, but yeah, well, I don't think we play Hyderabad again through the season. They're one of the teams we only play once. So if we're both still tracking really well by the end of the season, we might come across each other in the finals. But I think it's. The discussions are still talking about how much the batsmen are scoring, and maybe not so much about how the bowling figures look. But I think that's the nature of T20 cricket, and it's changed, and it's probably not. The days are probably gone in T20 cricket where you're going at sixes. I think they're probably an outlier, and on the small grounds and flat wickets, like you said there with what Paddy's sort of talking about, it's if you're going less than 40 off your 4 overs, it's nearly a tick in the box.
Yeah, which is incredible. I mean, I grew up in an era of one-day cricket where 220 was a success at the SCG, 230. So it's totally changed. And I was having a look actually at the records for T20 internationals. No doubt you're all over this, but Nepal against Mongolia, 314. That game played in China. I'm sure you've played in China, plenty of cricket, Mitch, but that's the target. And you can't rule it out, can you? Like Travis said it, that we're going to be seeing, on the odd occasion soon, scores starting with a 3, which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to think. And I mean, even this year we've had a number of test scores which were less than 300, let alone in a 20 over innings. So, it's phenomenal to think that I think the way that people are pushing the boundaries in all levels of cricket, but certainly we're talking about the last couple of weeks, and in the T20 game, over 500 runs scored in 40 overs of cricket. I think even last night, probably RCB looked out of it, and I was sort of watching in the background and turned off with probably 4 overs to go, and then saw it this morning, and they only fell 20 runs short. So even when you haven't sort of looked like being close, the last 4 overs of the innings, whether you're batting first or second, I think that they're the crunch times, and they can make the difference between the game. Or even the other night when Dhoni came out and went 6-6, 6-2, and Chennai only got up by 20 odd, so that can make all the difference.
You've played against Dhoni and also Virat this time around, and there's some other stars as well in Indian cricket, but they're the two that kind of jump out that we always talk about. Who got the bigger reception when they walked out?
Jeez, it's been interesting watching. I haven't watched every game, but certainly seen a few Chennai games on the TV, and the amount of yellow in the crowd, whether they're home or away, has been next level. And then we played a couple of games ago. We played against Chennai in Chennai. I'm not sure I've ever heard anything like it when he came out to bat. And that stadium only holds about 30,000 people, and the noise was. We're all on the field, and it was actually nothing I've ever heard of on a sporting field, playing or watching.
Really?
100,000 people at the MCG doesn't stand a chance against 35,000 people at Chennai when MS Dhoni comes out to bat. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah. No wonder the dude doesn't want to retire. I'd want a bit of that walking out to make me feel good, wouldn't you?
No, I'm happy sitting in the 45 minutes out of Sydney in the quiet, thanks.
Yeah, fair enough, understandable. But just on everything that's going on with the bat, then I can understand then, like obviously what happened with you in the auction and Paddy as well, and high value bowlers. They got Shamar Joseph in there as quickly as they could when he did what he did down here. It probably in a weird way it places more emphasis on getting your bowling stocks right to try and negate everything that's happening with the bat at the moment. So don't want to pump your tyres up, mate, but you've become even more valuable if that's possible.
Yeah, I guess so. It's I think that was the nature of this auction was people trying to either try to rejig their bowling lineups or their combinations. Obviously it's a one-off sort of year with the big auction coming next year. So whether it was teams trying to change things in their attack or trying to complement each other or trying to find ways to fill that gap. So I think that was probably the emphasis on the auction this year. And as you say, the ball keeps flying around, but if you have the right combination of quicks and spinners, or you have the right bowlers in your home conditions, or Paddy's been going pretty well so far this season with sort of staying ahead of some of the batters and using his variations and whatnot. So, yeah, little things like that I think are where the extra value comes in. And it's been an interesting dynamic with the impact player too. My first experience of it, you essentially have an extra batter every time. So, you almost got to try and stay another step ahead as a bowler. And if you're just that little bit off with your execution, the ball disappears here. So it does. It makes it a little bit harder, I think, as a bowler. But certainly the reward is greater if you can pull it off, or you have a good day with the ball. It goes a long way to winning games.
Playing against your Aussie teammates, I mentioned earlier about you getting rid of Davey and Mitch Marsh in an earlier game. But is it along the lines of like brothers going at each other in the backyard? Like you take it to a point without getting it out of control, or can it get a little vicious sometimes between you guys because you're so competitive and you want to knock each other out?
That's a good question. I didn't face Pat or bowl to Pat the first game, and then it was pretty short-lived battle between Davey, Mitch, and I. And not much was said. Mitchie obviously is headed home with a little hammy nick as well, and only lasted 2 balls out there. So a bit of a chuckle with him there. But Davey hit me for 6 and I got him out, and not much was said there. It's been great to see all the catch-ups after the games, whether it be the Aussie boys, the Kiwi boys, the English boys, even the Indian boys who probably play in the same domestic teams and play for different IPL teams. I think that's been been awesome to see at the end of the games. Everyone wants to win on the field. Everyone's ultra competitive. But then after the game, everyone seems to hang around on the field and see how each other are going. And that's been great to see through the tournament so far. And you sort of meet new people as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I guess game day is special because you can't exactly, in between games, just decide to do the tourist thing and go and see some local sites or everything. You get mobbed everywhere as a famous cricketer. So I guess that's a bit of a release in itself to catch up with people and get some stories and not just sit there and look at the same room service menu and play your PlayStation and everything like that locked in the hotel. It's the really enjoyable aspect of what you're doing over there.
Yeah, it's certainly part of it, and again, it's the nature of the schedule as well. It's been pretty busy. We're in the stretch of a few games at home, which it's been really nice to stay in the same place for a little bit of an extended period. Get to know a few of my team a bit better as well, without the hustle and bustle of flights and training and playing, and then back on another flight and training. So that's been good. I've still been on the PlayStation with Marsh, Richardson, Green, and Ellis, and we all play for different teams. So we're sort of still catching up over little different things along the way. It's been nice to get out for a hit of golf with some of my team, with Phil Salt and Ryan Tendescada, and there's not too many golfers in our group, but we've managed to find a few games. So you sort of you find little ways to either interact with new people or find ways to keep yourself occupied while trying to stay out of the cricket bubble from time to time.
Absolutely shocked that you found a golf course, Mitch. just gobsmacked. Anyway, hey, what's it also from a teammate point of view? You look at the list and you go, oh, look at all these big names, and he's playing with this guy, and they compete against each other internationally. What about the kind of lesser known Indian players just trying to make a name for themselves, and obviously financially it can change lives over there if they make a break in the IPL? Are they looking at you for, I don't know, in your ear, like fanboying, in your ear for advice, just yarn stories like I'm trying to get out of you here? What's it like with those players?
Yeah, it's been interesting to learn. Well, to obviously meet them all, a lot of them for the first time getting over here, but then to sort of work with them around training and see how they go at games and how they want to train and how they are off the field. We've got a pretty interesting mix, I guess. With got Shreyas is the captain. We've got a few senior guys. We've got I guess we call it a bit of a licorice all sorts in a way, where you've got Hyderabad have got a mix of Aussies and South Africans. You got Rajasthan. I've got a lot of Poms, wherever it may be, and we've got myself. We've got Salty the Pom. We've got 3 West Indians, a couple of Afghani players, and then a wide variety of the Indian guys from different states and domestic teams. So it's been interesting to see how it's all gelled together through the first few weeks, and we've had a few get-togethers, and how it's all sort of changes in dynamic as you go, and when people start to get a bit more comfortable around each other and know each other a bit more. And so that's been kind of cool to see from the background. And then in terms of the cricket, I guess we've got a fairly young fast bowling group, and guys that like to ask questions, guys that train a lot, and then guys that sort of don't have a lot of English, so you're sort of talking through other people to answer questions or see how they're going. So it's a big dynamic, but it's been a lot of fun to learn it all and to try and help where I can if there's been questions and whatnot. And I'm certainly the older guy now compared to the last time I was at the IPL, when I was sort of a similar age of what these guys are at 23 and 24. So the dynamic has changed.
There's no, in your midst, in Kolkata's mix, there's no Mayank Yadavs, guys that we haven't really heard too much of, who are sending them down at 155 plus, is there?
Not at 150 plus. I did also see Pat Cummins bowl at 148 yesterday. So whether he's turning back the clock or they've just sort of turned the gun up a little bit, I'm not sure. But he must be feeling pretty good about himself. No, we do have a good mix. We got some. I guess they call themselves mystery spinners in the way we obviously got Sunny Narayan, who has all the tricks, but we've got a couple of young spinners that have sort of come out of the sticks and have all these variations and interesting actions and mysteries in a way. I think we've got Shakib, who's a young fast bowler who's got he's a strong little wiry character. He can bowl really fast and has a really good slower ball. And we've got other guys that have sort of been around other groups before and applying their trade here. So it's been great to see the mix and get to see how they go about it, and if they've got questions, try and answer those.
Yeah, because back to that Yadav kid, I don't know if you've seen too much of him, and obviously he's made a bit of a name for himself out at the moment with the side strain. They're looking after him, but he'll be back in this IPL and might see him down here at the end of the year on our bouncy track. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how you were going at 22 years of age, pace-wise, but he looks to be going okay.
I wasn't bowling that quick yet. I probably wasn't bowling on the cut stuff too much either, I reckon. But no, we actually played Lucknow the other night, so I was thankful that I wouldn't have had to face him. I mean, Shamar bowls quick enough as it is, and I've still got marks on my gloves from where he's hitting me through the Test series. But it's an exciting prospect. I think I was hearing a little bit with Steve Steve Smith was commentating a bit in those first few weeks, and I think he was getting a few jobs from Broady about having to face him through the summer. So look, India've got a really exciting stock of fast bowlers. Obviously, Jaspreet's the lead man there with how he goes about it and how good a bowler he is across the formats. But they've got a nice little brigade of fast bowlers, and I'm sure they'll be ready and firing to come down to Australia on some faster wickets.
Oh, well, if Stephen Smith's facing those really quick bowlers, and he gets wrapped on the gloves like you did last summer. Well, hopefully Stuart Broad's told him how to not walk and maybe get away with it when you balloon one off a glove to slip. So now that they're best buds. Anyway, I'll leave that there. What about the fact that Kolkata, two of Bollywood's biggest stars are owners of your franchise? Is there a separation there, or do you socialise with them at all? Do you see them at functions or at the ground? Had anything to do with them whatsoever? Because they're huge stars.
Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan's been, I reckon he's been at 3 or 4 games now, and yeah, he's lovely. He's been up in the stands watching. He comes down after games, gets around both teams at the time. So he was down on the ground again the other night, saying g'day to all the Lucknow players and getting around our team. He's in the change room after, sort of down at the hotel bar after games to see how everyone's going as well. I think he's heavily involved and loves the Knight Riders. Certainly loves it when we win, and he seems like a lovely fellow. I think he was actually doing some movie business, I think, around the hotel yesterday. So the team room was off limits. But no, he's been great to I guess see from a different side of it. It's not it's certainly different to the Big Bash back home. With I mean, you don't see too many of there's not too many movie stars involved in New South Wales cricket. So yeah, it's been a different spot. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a different vibe. I mean, as I said, I haven't been to the IPL for a long time, and it was probably a different category of owner when I was at Bangalore. So it's been interesting to see. Certainly, Shah Rukh Khan be around and involved, and how I think how much he loves the cricket and the players and the team, but lets the team sort of go about themselves, and the whole cricket side's the cricket team, and he just loves seeing it all unfold and watch it closely, but also from a distance as well.
Yeah, because this guy's basically India's version of Brad Pitt. He's not down there changing the batting order. Is that what you're saying, Mitchell?
Yeah, correct. So he'll sit in I think his little hospitality box is just upstairs next to the changing room, and rides every ball, loves it, loves the cricket, loves watching, loves the team, loves the players, but he's certainly not in there telling me where to bowl or telling Shreyas how to captain. At the same time, after a win the other night, he's getting around the lads, telling them how much he loved watching the game and getting around the young kids as well, and it's fantastic to see. He brings his family in and just loves it all.
You mentioned yesterday he took over the hotel for a bit of movie business. Have you put your hand up, a little bit of Brett Lee action, get us in one of your films, pal, or you're happy to let that slide?
No. I bought a little Nespresso machine for those of us that appreciate a bit more than a hotel coffee, and we were sitting around sort of team rooms in 2 halves, and we were sitting around just talking crap around a coffee, and there was a cast of thousands in the other half of the team room, and I think he was about an hour away from coming in to do some movie business, and it got busier and louder, and we quickly finished our coffees and left.
Mitch, you've left one out there, mate. I could see you in a Bollywood film, dancing away.
I'll let Binger do that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey,
Had's just a little cameo too.
Hads?
Yeah.
Hads would be more like a producer, just pulling the strings from behind and just like giving people advice here and there. So that's his role.
Fair enough.
That's his gig. Hey, a quick one on Glenn Maxwell as well. You don't know too much about it, and obviously his figures haven't been the greatest so far, so he's decided he's basically told his team, choose someone else. I need a bit of a chill out mentally and physically. Like, you don't know, obviously, what's going through his head, and you haven't spoken to him, but can you understand a player having that decision or making that decision given the bright lights and how much kind of focus is on IPL cricket when you're over there?
Yeah, it's, I've only just woken up, so I've heard it briefly this morning, but yeah, hopefully he's doing all right. Bangalore sort of had a bit of a tough time of it as well, and trying to find those right combinations, and guys trying to search for results as well. So yeah, firstly, hopefully he's doing all right, and I guess takes the time to get himself right. Obviously, it's been a big 18 months, and it's still a big sort of 3 months to go in terms of 2020 cricket with the back end of the IPL and straight into a World Cup. So yeah, look, he's made that decision to sort of step back a little bit, and I mean that's the nature of the IPL, is we've got sort of 7-8 internationals in each team to try and find combinations and whatnot. And Maxi's going to give himself a bit of a break, which is he's certainly been around cricket for a long time and knows when to sort of give himself a bit of a breather and get himself right. So I think they're here in we might have him on the weekend actually, so we'll get to check in and see how he's going. And Greeny's there as well, so he's got a group of guys that he's been around for a few years in the Mangalore setup. He's got a bit of an Aussie contingent there as well, so hopefully he's doing all right, and we'll see how he's going on the weekend and get back to his best stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. I think everyone in Australian cricket, probably around the world as well, echoes those sentiments. Congratulations, Mitch. Wisden, one of the 5 cricketers of the year. I don't know how they do their calendar over there at Wisden, but it seems odd that it's taken them a very long time to come up with a cricketer of the year in April. But hey, you've got it. You're one of the 5: Usman Khawaja, Ash Gardner, Harry Brook and Mark Wood, the other 4. So congratulations. Well done. It's based on your Ashes form last year. So, yeah. All the wickets you took.
Certainly not based on my first 2 weeks of the IPL, that's for sure.
But I'll let you say that. Pat won the men's cricketer, leading men's cricketer in the world for Wisden as well. I don't know how they come up with. I guess it's judged on last summer, and then overall, Pat wins the whole award. First Aussie since Michael Clarke in 2012 for the men to win that one. So it's just what Pat needs, another plaudit, another award. He was lacking in that area, wasn't he, over the last 5 years?
I think he's actually just put some plans in to renovate his house just to add more room for all the medals and trophies he's racking up over the last 2 years. So, no, I think thoroughly deserved. He's been phenomenal as a player and as a captain. So I don't think anyone can argue with that. The way he's gone about his cricket, individually and as a captain, it's been bloody great to see as a close mate, but certainly to play alongside him for a lot of cricket for a lot of years, and certainly the last couple of years. And he's just continued that on. Everything he touches turns to gold, and so far it's been in the form of IPL as well, which has been great to see from afar, not against us, but yeah.
Do you go down the traditional Australian route, and you and the Aussie boys, that it's got to the point where he's so successful at everything he does right now that you actually just take the piss out of him rampantly, or do you just shrug your shoulders and let him go and, that's Pat?
Pretty much. I think it's interesting. Josh and I can cop it all. Yeah, look, he's an unbelievable bowler. He's great captain. He's great to play under. He's obviously got all the cover shoots. He's a good-looking fella. Got all the clothing deals. But then we take him to golf, and he's like, he was a reluctant golfer. He was 6 holes at best, and then he's finally caught the golf bug. And now it's like he's bombing them down the middle off the tee box, and Josh and I can't cop that. So he can cop everything else. The fact that he's picked up golf like as easy as you come, and now, that's hard to cop.
You like 3 brothers, and there's the favoured one by the parents, but there's one area in life that you 2 others are good at, and now he's come in and invaded your space there too, and in the eyes of mum and dad it's just too good. Anyway, I get it. So hey,
well, we still have the lower handicaps than him, but the fact that he just like steps up and bombs it 300 down the middle, I'm not too happy about that. So
yeah, but you are such close mates, and obviously there's so much to accomplish in the next 18, 20 months with a couple of huge Australian summers, and since we last spoke, the schedule's come out, obviously. I mean, is this a sense of, okay, where we're at in our lives, where we're at in our careers, it's one last big push together? Or is it not like that, the cricket calendar? You just take every new tournament, every new experience as they come?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, Pat's a little bit younger, but Josh and I have been around a long time where we're sort of pushing in mid-30s now, and you sort of have a little bit of an eye on the schedule and what's coming up, and obviously got a T20 World Cup to sort of try and get that one back, I guess, and then we almost hold everything. If we can do that, and then the Champions Trophy next year, I think Australian cricket will just about have every trophy across the men and the women. So nice little carrot there for both sides. But I mean, for the three of us, it's not lost on us, along with Gazza, how lucky we are to have 4 bowlers from the same state, and certainly 3 of us that have grown up through cricket together. And Gazza reckons he's going to be the Aussie Jimmy Anderson and play till he's 50. But the 3 of us, we love the getting out in the field together and going and battle, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But to sit back and I'm sure once we have finally hung up the bowling boots, we'll certainly be sitting back on a golf course or at the pub and enjoying the fact that we've had 10, 15 years to grow up through cricket and have a lot of special moments. Been really grateful for the opportunities that we have had, but to have the friendships and the relationships that we have, certainly as the bowling group, but the three quickies is something special and not lost on us.
Well, if it is on a golf course, you have those reunions. I dare say the way things are going, you'll be coughing in Pat's backswing just to kind of...
Depends on which way the balls fall. If you throw him up and he's on your team, you want him smacking them down the middle, and I'll punt for him.
I don't know about Nathan Lyon though, playing till he's 50. If you've seen anything that's going on with county cricket so far, the scores of none for 8,000 and things like that. There was a suite of games played across the weekend. There was not one result. Weather played a part, but flat decks. So I can't see him having a particularly enjoyable time if they keep on producing decks like this and the Kookaburra ball's doing very, very little.
I will throw him under the bus here because we're all checking with one another from every couple of days or whatever it may be, and he sent me a message out of the blue the other day, and he goes, "I will never ever take for granted bowling with you 3 again." And then I looked at the scorecard, and he's up to about 55 overs for the fixture. So, nice little check-in to know that we've actually got some value when he plays with us.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Hey, we caught up with the other top-line Australian spinner in the white ball form of the game in particular, Adam Zampa, last week. And he reckons with this T20 World Cup experience is going to play a huge part because the conditions in the West Indies are as such that he thinks that given you guys have played a lot together and know each other's games, that's going to be a big benefit. Can you pick out anything else over there that's going to be key, or is it along those lines?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's obviously the first time, or my first experience of having a bigger World Cup in the fact you've got 4 different groups. So I think that's fantastic for the game. It's probably a more inclusive World Cup, if you like, in the fact that you've not just got the top 8 or 10 teams. You've got teams that are qualified through different areas, I guess, and have their opportunity to take on. So I guess become the new giant killers, if you like. And there's always a few stories from every World Cup where teams have played out of their skin and new superstars come onto the block and whatnot. So that's going to be exciting to take on teams that certainly I've never played against and players that I've never seen before as well. In terms of the conditions, I think Zamps is spot on there. It's probably seen that the last few times we've been to the West Indies, the wickets have taken more turn than maybe back in the day when they had the fearsome foursome bowling around your chops every ball. But the fact that there's a lot of cricket on it at these grounds as well, I think the wickets might get tired towards the back end of the tournament, and then that's where you'll see probably spin take even more importance in the back end, I think. So I mean we've got our 4 games. We've got Barbados twice, St Lucia and Antigua, I believe, which are all very different wickets.
Sounds horrible.
Well, you could be in the group that are in New York for 3 games. That would have been nice, but anyway. But no, it's exciting. So it's what is it? It's 9 games if you make the final. Obviously got the Super 8s in there. We've got England in our group. A lot to be excited for, and be a a month long slogfest, I guess, and the bowlers will just hang on.
Like you're doing at the moment. Last one, mate, before we let you go. You're not going to hang around in the USA for a bit of MLC? A couple of the Aussie boys have signed up, or you're coming back here for a bit of R&R before the summer?
I have got my sights set on 8 weeks of golf, so no, I'll be coming home after the World Cup, thanks.
Fair enough. That answers that.
I might actually like to see my wife and see some time in my house. So.
Oh, no, she'll be off playing cricket somewhere else. So.
No. We've both got golf on the calendar. We've got some time at home and golf on the calendar, so all good.
Blocked it out. Fair enough. Oh, well, we won't try and interrupt it too much by getting her in for Willow Talk with Hads when everyone's back in Australia. But yeah, it'll happen from time to time, mate. But thanks so much for joining us on this episode, and good luck in your upcoming games, mate. Hope they come out well, and plenty of none for 39s off your 4 overs and not over 40.
maybe 2 for 45. That'll be all right.
Fair enough. Understandable. Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.